All right, let's see if this is working or not. Oh my god. I want you guys know right now, if I can't talk and it sounds like I'm sick, that's just because I am, man. 'Cause I swear to God, I have bronchitis. I definitely have bronchitis, but it's been like a really long time since I've actually done a live stream on a channel. I actually did a lot of these earlier on for Chainsaw Man, and then I just stopped. And I guess I kind of stopped because I got lazy. I lost motivation, but now I'm doing it and I'm sick. So that's like the funniest part. But today I guess we're gonna be talking a little bit about, I guess like a lot about Chainsaw Man, just how things are going with it generally speaking, and what could happen next chapter. But oh my god. But yeah, that's pretty much what this live stream is gonna be like more or less about. And I guess that's kind of it. I guess like a little bit of like maybe like a life update, I guess. But I mean, I guess the only life update is I can finally work from home now, so that's nice. I don't know if it means I'm gonna be uploading more or not anymore because of obligations, but I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm trying to like, work on getting like a video editor, because it's like, dude, editing content, I don't know. I should watch like more videos on Adobe Premiere Pro, but yeah. But just going more, I guess, into Chainsaw Man with 146. And this kind of like a brief summary of what happened last chapter. Last chapter, it feels so weird, right? Like it feels very, very, very strange. You know, some people are saying that we're at the halfway point of Chainsaw Man Part 2 story, but you want to know my honest opinion, how I really feel about it? It almost feels like not much has actually happened. And it's kind of sad to say like that, but in a way, it definitely feels that way, because earlier on in this arc, which is mainly focused around Denji, most of us were kind of led to believe cough, that, you know, maybe Denji would come up with like his own decision and make his own choice of what he's going to do in the future. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Fujimoto wrote it in a way where we thought we were gonna get that, right? And we had the prime opportunity for it to happen, but then he just is kind of like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. And it kind of goes from there, because Barum and most of the hybrids, with the exception of like Tsugo, who's a sword man, most of them were really crazy. Like most of them were pretty devoted to the Chainsaw Man Church. They were pretty nuts. And legit in this chapter, like we see, oh man, after like the failed, I guess, deletion attempt at the amusement park, after that failed, like Barum was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on ahead and go with you guys. And I'm like, dude, I am expecting a fight, because guy was crazy. Guy was down bad for the Chainsaw Man Church. And it's like he just goes away quietly for the most part. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm kind of like, dude, if you want to make Denji transform, that probably would have been like the best time. Like he kind of went out in like a blaze of glory too, but I guess not. And it gets even more interesting, the fact that public safety the entire time knew about Asa. Now obviously I think it's because that Yoshida was sending them information, and I think a lot of people will forget at the very beginning of Chainsaw Man Part 2 story, Yoru literally said out loud her name, and she also displayed what her abilities were. So to that end, it's kind of like I can accept it, but it's kind of like, well, if you guys knew about it all this time and you care so much, why didn't you go after her before she joined what is now known to be a very bad group of people? You know what I mean? And she's contracted with the War Devil of all people. Weird. Like really, 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 really weird how public safety kind of works. Very strange when it comes to that. And the entire thing in the Chainsaw Man Church, I think I understand what the purpose of it really was, in my opinion. Oh my god. and it has like a bit of like a double purpose. Just my own personal opinion. It was probably meant to make people more afraid of Chainsaw Man and to make people despise him. Because I mean, a devil's power comes from people fearing them, so Denji should actually receive a power boost the next time he becomes Chainsaw Man, compared to probably how he was recently. And no, I guess like the other purpose is to make Denji really more or less love and accept himself. Because part of the reason, and I am in the kind of like the production of making a video describing why Yoru couldn't make Denji into a weapon. I think part of the reason why that is just because Denji doesn't even see himself as Denji. He just sees himself as Chainsaw Man. That's legitimately what he sees himself as. It's either that or Denji isn't his real name, but even then, I almost don't even believe in that theory myself, to be totally honest. But yeah. But we're just gonna go on ahead and go into what I think might actually happen in chapter 146. What I'm hoping that isn't going to happen, and oh my god, dude, I can barely talk about too loud coughing. It's horrible, man. Bronchitis is horrible, chat. Make sure you take Tylenol, because God knows I took Tylenol, and I guess it kind of worked, but not really. But one thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen is like the entire fight between Asa and Yoshida gets off screened, and at this point, I'm actually surprised this isn't on Consumer Soul's bingo board of like an off-screen happening, because there have been so many off-screens. Well, I guess the Times clip is an off-screen, but there have been so many off-screens recently with Chainsaw Man. It's kind of insane. Like, Asa's entire character development was just off-screen. Like, her finding the devils and everything. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna off-screen it. We're gonna focus on Denji. We're gonna introduce some new characters and reintroduce some more characters, but the story doesn't really go anywhere. Oh my god. But the story doesn't really go anywhere, and it didn't really do anything. I mean, I guess it kind of did. We got more perspective of Denji's mind, but I'm like, if he really wanted to, I don't know. I really don't understand it. It's like Asa's the main character. Denji's also the main character as well. He's like the other protagonist of the story. But it just feels very strange that he would decide to really off-screen Asa's entire character development and a change in her character, to the point where some people are even saying like, dude, she's changed so much. She's not the same. And in all honesty, she isn't the same. Like, she is not the same character at all. And we kind of know she isn't, just based on the fact that, what do you think about it? She's matured a lot, and she's more willing to sacrifice a whole lot more than she probably would have in the previous arc. Because I mean, she was literally willing to turn like her room in the apartment building into a sword. And in my mind, I'm kind of like, dude, that is by far one of the most wildest moves she can make, because dude, she could bring down the apartment building, or, well, yeah, she could pretty much bring down the building on herself just by doing it. I guess, like, realistically speaking, if we're getting down to it. And it's kind of like, you know, that's not a bad idea, but it's like, dude, it's so wild and out of whack. It just goes to show like how much she's actually changed, at least in my oh my god, at least in my opinion. But I guess going back into the bingo board itself, Baron is in custody, and I don't think Kishibe is coming back. A lot of people are saying that Kishibe was behind everything. I think the oh my god. Here, I'm gonna take some water out of this water bottle I brought a few weeks ago. Can't drink it because it doesn't have enough water to go up to the straw, but I'm gonna put that right there, and I'm going to drink straight out of this, because dude, my lungs, man, my lungs. But I don't think it's Kishibe at this point. I don't think he is coming back, just because public safety, from what we know from last chapter, Public Safety had been planning on getting rid of Denji for a long time, or they wanted him gone. And obviously Kishibe, he never really thought that way about Denji, although I could see why Public City would think that, but he felt like, yeah, Denji was just like someone who was really, really, really traumatized, but was like a really, really, really useful asset that, you know, he at least made like a good impression on Kishibe to the point where he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna snitch on you. I'm gonna keep you around. You're pretty cool. And he just kind of left the story out on that. Like, they both left on good terms, but at this point, I don't think he's with Public Safety, and I don't even know if he is gonna come back. Some people are even saying that Kishibe could come back to save Asa, and if that actually happens, I'll be kind of, I don't know how I would really feel about that. It's like Denji kind of needed someone to give him advice or wisdom, like fatherly advice or wisdom. And, you know, when he needed it the most, he wasn't there for Denji, but he's going to be there for Asa. It's kind of dumb in that perspective. It's kind of stupid. But I guess it would make sense. I guess. I wouldn't really like it personally, but hey. Who am I to say? Someone interferes in the fight. Someone probably will. I am actually fully expecting that either Fake Saw Man is going to appear next chapter, or the Famine Devil is going to appear next chapter. I'm fully expecting it. Yep, the cough's here. Hold on. Oh my god. I'm fully expecting them to honestly pull up and maybe back Asa up, because it just seems very strange that the Famine Devil is like nowhere to be seen. Like, her organization that she secretly runs is falling apart, and he's nowhere to be seen. Like, Fake Saw Man, nowhere to be seen. Public Safety doesn't even mention her. It's like, so you guys aren't going to go after the guy that's like the other Chainsaw Man? You guys aren't going to go after that guy? But maybe like Asa, they never even believed it as well. And then that's just the reason why they don't even mention it. Because they're like, yeah, we have like the real Chainsaw Man. The other one's a fake. But there actually is like another Chainsaw Man out there. So it's going to be pretty interesting, honestly. The church members get interrogated. I don't think any of them are going to be getting interrogated. Most of them are really just kids, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, I mean, who are they going to interrogate? I mean, the hybrids, for the most part, they probably don't know much at all, if we're being real. And a lot of them are just kind of crazy, and they're in it for their own reasons. Like, I think the Whip Devil was in it because realistically she thought that she was superior to regular humans, and that's why she wanted to commit that massacre. So I don't think they're gonna really get it that far with interrogating them. Yoru caring about Asa, yeah, probably. And now that I mention it, oh my god, that's so bad. Yoru probably is going to be able to go in Asa's body, because that is probably going to be the most pain that Asa has probably ever felt, realistically, in her entire life. Because like, she just lost her arm. I was not expecting that. I wasn't really expecting that, to be totally honest. Like we see her come back and she gets her arm lopped off. But especially when you look at part one, because Denji was losing limbs like left and right, like it was nothing. He was getting cut up at like since like the very beginning of the story. Well, yeah, he did literally get cut up. That's literally how he died. He was murdered, and then he literally got sliced alive. So yeah, but that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how she's going to get out of this situation. I don't know if Asa's gonna let's brush off losing a limb. If she does, that'll be that would probably be like the biggest difference in her character, but also like the biggest piece of like character development that I think we've seen. And I don't know how I would even really feel about that one, to be completely honest, because earlier on in like the Flying Devil arc, she was crying over losing a nail, and now she's getting like her arm sliced off. And I'm like, yeah, if having your arm sliced off doesn't really affect her at all, when in like a previous arc she was crying over her fingernail, I gotta be honest, I don't know how I'm gonna really feel about that one. I'm gonna call like a little bit of BS on that, but But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe Asa will be able to take the pain. Maybe this is the first time that she's lost a limb. It probably isn't. It probably is not. And hopefully, she gets introduced into maybe like the concept of just, drinking blood to get her limb back. But I'm not really too sure. Asa and Yoru screaming at each other. They probably will. And that'll be kind of funny. But what's interesting is Barum prayer's work. We don't know who Barum was actually praying to. So it is going to be very, very, very interesting to see just what actually does happen at the end of the actual. Well, I guess not the end, but in the next chapter. Because in the next chapter, we know it's going into nighttime, and another primal devil, I think, is probably going to appear since all of them seem to be coming at night. Oddly enough, like the Flying Devil came at night. The Darkness Devil came at night. Literally darkened the sky, hence the Darkness Devil. Well, not really the Darkness Devil, but like a person that had a contour of the Darkness Devil, but it darkened the area. So that almost happened that night. And, well, no, the Gun Devil came during the day, but, I mean, yeah, I mean, you get the point here. You get the point here. Something big is going to happen next chapter. It kind of has to, honestly. Just because of what the family devil said. Like, yeah, this is like the first devil of the many devils that are going to appear on Earth that will cause the world to go into chaos. When she was speaking of the Nostradamus theory. I mean, Nostradamus prophecy. And that has yet to play into the story again yet. Like, it's been, I think, 20, not like, more like 15 chapters. And that really hasn't ever been mentioned. Maybe, like, except like one time again. And it probably is going to play into it again, but I'll be interested to see how that kind of plays out. Asa and Yoru team up. I mean, yeah, that's not really much of a theory. That's kind of like a given at this point. Asa gets locked up. If there is going to be a time skip, she probably is going to get locked up. I would just be very interested to see, how would they lock her up? You know what I mean? Like, if she can turn anything that she owns into a weapon, well, I guess so. Like, they probably are literally going to disarm her. They will literally cut both of her arms off and just keep her locked up. That would pretty much do it. I mean, cause think about it. Like, without her arms, she can't do anything. Like, from what we know, she has to touch the object in order to make it a weapon with her hands. Not her feet or anything else, but like her hands. And kind of it makes me wonder if Public City does take her in, would she even get her arms back? And I don't think she would. I don't think she would. I think they are legitimately going to cut her arms off, and well, I guess you can say that she'll be disarmed, like figuratively and quite literally, because she can't use her abilities. So yeah, so Asa stays disarmed for now. If she loses her fight against Yoshida, probably. Rize returns in the story. I don't think so. I'm not even gonna dive too much into that one. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. Although it is interesting to see that out of all of the devils that are mentioned, the hybrids, she's the only one that we don't know where she is or what she's doing. That is an interesting part for the most part. Alright, Yoru fights Yoshida. Very likely, but I was hoping at when the time skip came about, also would be able to know how to fight just a little bit, but it's kind of clear that she kind of doesn't. Like, she pretty much told Yoru, like, hey, look, I'm gonna make a weapon and then you just take on my body and just do the rest. And I'm just kind of like, all right, well, I mean, I guess I like that. Not really, not what I was hoping for, but all right. I mean, hey, I'm all here for it. Room 606 sword gets made. I think either, I don't know if it really did or not. The reason why I don't know if the sword was made or not is it's clearly shown that when she was making the sword, like as Yoshida came in and sliced her arm off, the surrounding area disappeared, but I'm not entirely sure the process itself like was fully completed. I have a feeling that it probably is, and maybe he's like ah crap. Like the face he made at the very end of the chapter was like the all crap face. Like, oh yeah, the weapon is being made. We're about to fall out of this apartment building, and he's like, well, now I gotta deal with that. But I'm not entirely sure. Also gets brought into the devil basement. Very, very, very likely. It's just that I don't know how that's going to go or what. Because I have a feeling if she does get taken in by public safety, we're going to be getting like a really big lore drop. Like a really big lore drop. With like the famine devil, the war devil, a lot of things. I feel like we're getting like prepped for a lore drop. At least I think we are, but I'm not entirely too sure. Alright, family intervenes. The famine devil is... Oh my god. I hate being sick. The family devil will intervene. The reason why I say this, I mean, let's be real. She's in like a really bad spot. The family devil is nowhere to be seen. She probably is going to intervene, but the thing about it is like, what can the famine devil even do? You know what I mean? It's like, Fammy was afraid of Yoshida, of all people. I mean, and not to say that Yoshida's weak. I mean, he literally sliced like Asa's arm off before Asa could even react. And you know what I'm saying? But it's like, dude, if you were afraid of like a regular human like Yoshida, like I don't know what she's going to really do. Like I know she is going to help out, but I don't know what she's going to do. You know what I mean? Like she's not like a hand-to-hand combatant like Makima was. Like if Makima got threatened like that, like she would have just killed Yoshida on the spot. But we know like the family devil doesn't have the same abilities as Makima as far as like the gravity manipulation or like the pressure manipulation goes. So it's not like she can just bang Yoshida out of existence. And it's like we really don't know much about her. So I mean, I don't really know what she would even do in this situation, to be completely honest. I mean, I know she's going to help, but it's kind of more like the family devil was more like a puppet master that can just manipulate people into helping her and sending in her goons to do her dirty work rather than herself actually really doing anything, because she's probably relatively weak. Time skip. I hope nothing gets off screen, but I won't be shocked if something does. Yoshida gets hurt. I mean, it's a fight. Of course he's going to get hurt. But if you mean like if he's going to die, I don't see Yoshida dying in this arc. Probably by the end of the story, I think he is probably going to die, but I don't think he's going to die now. Or he's not going to get hurt to the point where he would die. And Asa arms heals. Her arm shouldn't be able to heal unless she has blood, so I know that's not happening. That is unless she literally just grabs her arm and it just reattaches together, which I'm like, okay, well, we kind of saw Denji do something similar, so I guess it's possible, but I don't think that would really work. But you know, who am I to say, guys? Like, who am I to say? But okay, and I just saw the chat. I am so sorry, dude. I just saw this chat. I'm so sorry. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I don't think Family was afraid of Yoshida. She just wanted him to pay for the food. I don't know. Because the thing about the horsemen, I don't think... Okay, the control devil was strong. War devil is definitely strong. They're all strong, right? But they're all just regular humans at the end of the day. They're like human. They're like devils that take the form of a human. And with that form, it means they're just as weak as like a human to certain things. Like, for example, like Makima literally got shot. She got assassinated. If she didn't have her double contract, that would pretty much be it for her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like on one hand, yeah, they're strong, but they're just as vulnerable as like a regular human is to certain things, like gunshots or like swords. So to that end, to that end, I think she was afraid of him, but I can't really say, because it's like we haven't seen like her full abilities on display, right? the fact that Yoshida was more comfortable being close to the Famine Devil and Denji, but he kept like an arm's distance away from Asa of all people. It kind of shows, I guess, like the power levels. I guess not only the power levels, but it's like he wasn't afraid of her. He felt comfortable around her enough to actually just take her out to dinner and just literally just make that right in front of her face. So that's my opinion. Ghost Tab says, Family summoned the fallen devil. She probably asked some other devils for this situation. Very likely. Very likely, and I'm full on expecting something like that is going to definitely happen. Okay, Chris says, I think they'll force Asa in order to make contracts with public safety members for Nostradamus. See, I don't even think it would even work like that, would it? I mean, the way that public safety was speaking about Asa, they made it seem like she was actually like the war devil itself, or like she was like basically the new war devil, because they never called her Asa. They're like yeah, Asa Mitaka, aka the new, like, the war devil, not the new war devil. They just called her the war devil, and then like the people just pretty much refer to her only as the war devil. So it's like it's kind of like, I hope we get like explanation of what's going on there, and I think we probably will, but it's possible that they probably will. Or maybe they know that for a fact that like the war devil is like the only one that can really stop the world from ending. But they just want to have the war devil on their side instead of the famine devil side. Maybe it's something like that. Yoshida was probably dating Fami. Oh, dude. I don't think any of us would want to date Fami. I always wouldn't be able to take it, man. Alright, let's see here. Yoro healed Asa in chapter 1 of part 2. She probably can reattach her limbs. It's possible. It is possible, but I feel like it was more because of how the actual contract worked. Like, you know how like Yoshida made a contract with Denji, and then that way he was able to bring Denji back to life. I think like in the terms of like making contracts, but yeah, they could. But then after that, it's kind of like, it's kind of up in the air, I guess, when it comes down to that. But I suppose it would be possible. I don't think it is. It's a possibility, but I just don't think it really worked like that. I think it's like a one-time thing, where it's like, yeah, I'll make the contract to keep you alive and bring you back. And she was just able to do that, but I'm not entirely sure. You never know, though. I mean, that would be like a pretty busted ability if like she could just have her limbs just lopped off and then she could just come back. Then Asa is dead and Yoro was yelling at herself. That is a good point. And in that case, Sanchez, when you put it like that, then yeah, she probably can't heal herself. All right, let me just get a. I'm telling you, man, being sick is not fun. Being sick is not fun, man. If I didn't have to work this week, I don't know. I mean, I have stuff that I would have to do. Oh my god, I probably would take like a sick day. Who knows? I probably will. I think I'm gonna take like a sick day, maybe next week, maybe on like a Tuesday. Maybe on Tuesday. That'd be kind of funny. I take like a sick day on Tuesday, but probably not. All right, let me read the rest of the chat. I think Barum praying the Kumbaya was him willing to sacrifice himself to attack Denji to force Chainsaw Man to come out. If that was the case, he would have just activated, like pulled his trigger to transform, and then he would have just, he would have just gotten like the cooking people. But I don't know, man. All right. Ghost Tap says Kishibe works best behind the curtains. The fact that he went around public safety to give Denji Nayuta, he will show up, but don't expect him flipping the board. At this point, yeah, probably. I mean, he definitely isn't with public safety anymore, man. That's just a fact. He really is out here just doing like his own thing. He's just doing like the Kishibe thing. I've been saying Asa has been dead the whole time since chapter 1. Dude, Wait, are you saying like Asa's dead? Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I don't think she's dead. I think it's more like they fused together or they're in the process of like an actual fusion itself, but who knows? All right, I'm just trying to. Okay, all right. Chris Ghost Staff says she had to remind me a lot when the snake katana attacked. It made it look like they were strong, too strong, but Makima hit back tenfold. Yeah. The fact that Fami's heavy hitters haven't taken the center stage is sus. I mean, that is true. We know it isn't the hybrids. We know the hybrids aren't the center stage because I mean they all literally got low diffs by Quan Chi. And honestly, yeah, you can honestly argue and say that like even if they went into like their full on double forms, Quan Chi would have just still low diff them. She still would have low diffed them. Honest to God. The only hybrid I could say out of the three of them that were actually at that attack that I would expect to do something, oddly enough, would be the Spear Devil. And that's just because of his feat against the actual Chainsaw Man. Okay, Ghost Stuff says, Yoshida kept Denji alive as a hybrid, while Yoru is a different case. It's too unbelievable to keep her as a semi-immortal. Even fiends are semi-immortal. Oh my god. Semi-immortal. As Kishibe said in part 1. That is somewhat... I think I know what you're saying. Kishibe assembling his own Power Rangers with Reze and the Angel Trust. Angel Devil is dead, but Kishibe could be with Reze. And that would be kind of cool if she was. Alright, I'm just reading this chat. I'm just seeing what other people said. Did also get a lot of character development off screen. It feels like she just got a power up. She's definitely different. To me personally, she seemed different in like a couple ways. I mean, number one, it's just like she seemed. Well, all right. Let me get my thoughts together. Hold on. Let me just breathe in, breathe out, take a sip of this water. I'm gonna have to get some more water. Alright. The reason why I say that she got a lot of character development off screen and she seemed different is she's number one, she's a lot more trusting of Yoru. Because I think this is like the first time in the story where she pretty much said, yeah, hey Yoru, after I'm not making this weapon take over my body, I want you to give it back though. And it's like, okay, so this is like really the first time she has willingly said this for the most part. So, and it's very different. And the way that they're talking to each other, it seems like a lot more cordial. You know what I mean? Before, it was like a relationship based on, I guess, like, what do you call it? Necessity? But now it seems like they more or less, they genuinely like each other for the most part. I mean, obviously, Asa's like, yeah, you're making me kind of do this and change myself because of you. Which she didn't really seem happy about, but I mean, she's still going along with it, and she's still being more cooperative. So, yeah, that and she just seems like a lot more mature. Before, I mean, she was like, yeah, I don't want to go on ahead and just, I don't like killing people. I don't like doing this to, yeah, possibly turning your room into a sword and bringing down the entire apartment building. And well. Kind of, I guess, being okay with killing people. Because before she was killing devils, but now, I mean, she's about to kill like a bunch of like... Well, she might just be killing like a SWAT team and possibly Yoshida. So yeah. Alright. Well, I still believe in the Death Devil and Rebirth theory. So, MA, in my opinion, I mean, Yoshida is playing House of Denji. She remembers all her past lives. Man, if that is true... I don't think it is, but if that is true, that would be the funniest thing in the world. That would actually be kind of funny. That would be very funny. That would be wild too. Crazy theory time. Was Reze the girl the Chainsaw Man Church was keeping for Denji to smash if he joined? Dude, I thought about that too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I legitimately thought about that. And it could be very possible, but I almost feel like if that were true, they would have just brought her out. Like they wouldn't even just like bring him over to the church to really even talk. They would have just brought her out, and he would have just been more accepting to join them. Because the thing about Denji is, I mean, okay, this is gonna be like a hot take. Do you think Denji still would have joined the Chainsaw Man Church if it meant he would have gone to smash Reze, but they would have been like afterwards, like immediately afterwards, like, yeah, hey, we're gonna kill like a bunch of people, and we're also gonna kill Asa too. Do you think he still would have joined? Just based on that. I mean, it makes sense that she would be a part of the church, but at the same time, it's kind of like if she was, why wouldn't they just bring her out? They could have just done that, and then he would have just went on ahead and just joined them. Chris says, I feel like Reze would be too smart to join that church. She tried to find Denji in her own way. Yeah, and that's the whole point. Because I think like the entire point of really Reze's character and her section of part 1 was for Denji to really to think for himself and to do what he really wanted to do. And and that was probably maybe like the best thing about her character is she encouraged Denji more or less to think for himself and to do what he really wants and make him question, you know, what really does make you happy and are you really happy? And she made him thinking about that, and that was like probably the best thing, really one of the best things about her character. So that's that, and yeah, that's really true. I mean, if she did join a church, if she did join a Chainsaw Man church, I suppose in that way that would kind of destroy her character. In a way, that really would destroy her character. We truly need to know the reason why the hybrids came back to public safety to gouge how Riza is coming back. Chris, I think we already know why they joined public safety, and I swear to God, it was not optional. Let's just say they're probably under the same situation that Denji was in part 1. I mean, that's kind of like the situation that they're in. It's like, yeah, you can join us, or we can kill you, or the third option is we can just put you in a state where you just die forever, but we keep you captive. I mean, those are the options. It's like, yeah, you join us or you die. Those are the options that Makima gave to Denji. Those are likely the options that they gave to Kanchi and Katana Man. Denji would have bailed if he knew the church was gonna isekai in events. Then again, oh no, innocence. Then again, Asa didn't know, so they wouldn't told him. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, nah, that's still true. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't even argue against that one. Would Kanchi really be afraid of public safety without Makima, though? I feel like they would. I feel like she would. It's just like, well, I don't really know. I mean, with Kanchi, maybe she's just doing it because it's what she's good at, but she has no other purpose. Because think about it. She's not really good with the Chinese government anymore. She can't go back there, and her girlfriends are dead. So I mean, I suppose when you think about it, I guess being a devil hunter for public safety, it gives her like some type of purpose in life. She's just like another dog. Yeah, she's just like a dog for like another government essentially. So it's like, I guess for her, it just gives her like her life's purpose. That's the way I will look at it, honestly. So probably that, but I still think they could probably kill her. They probably could very well kill her and take her down. I think it's possible. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, put it like this. If we're going to go by that logic, then Denji in part 1, even with Makima, if Makima was never there, Denji never should have been afraid of actually leaving public safety. But we know that, like, Kishibe is probably not the only strongest devil hunter there. But they gotta have other strong devil hunters that would be able to take on a hybrid, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come to think about it, yeah, Yoshida was literally going head to head with Quan-Chi outside of her hybrid form. I mean, he's still lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, he's still lost, but I mean, he was still going head to head against her. So it's not like he was like fodder. So they have people that aren't like fodder, I suppose. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. All right. Quan-Chi seemed off when she took out the hybrids. Her expression looked sad and serious. I mean, yeah, dude. Like her girlfriends are dead. Her best friend is nowhere to be seen. Like, he dipped. Like, he might, honestly, Kishibe might even be dead for all we know. So, I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. War Stromberg, I'm dead. Damn, the mismemory devil got me. I wonder if Conchi is an alcoholic now after the whole thing. Very likely. It would be very interesting to see how like a lot of the characters are actually kind of coping with part one. Like we know Denji is like super depressed, like just super depressed. Katana Man is likely traumatized and will never look at a foot the same way ever again after getting kicked in the balls numerous times, and well, having his girlfriend brutally murdered and his teammates also brutally murdered by Makima, and that's pretty much it. And then Kobani's out here just doing Kobani stuff. I guess Kobani is really like the real winner of part one when you think about it. Like between Kobani and Naruto, they're like the only two people that truly won Chainsaw Man. It truly was their Chainsaw Man. And you think about it. Alright, okay, let's see. Though that animal type noise still kind of keep that. Thought that animal type noise still kind of keep that thought in mind. Huh. Alright. Well, chat, I am sick. I can really talk without really coughing right now, and I've been live for almost an hour, so I'm going to end the live stream. I'm probably going to be doing more live streams like this in like the future, though. Hopefully. Kobani went back to flipping burgers, bro. I'm dead. Imagine if like Kobani was like at like the restaurant as like they're like the hybrids are there, just like planning like a massacre. Dude, that would be like freaking hilarious. So if like all that's going on, it's like, hi, may I take your order? That would be hilarious. That would be funny. Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a upload of the chapter review next week. I'm trying to work on another YouTube video, but it just depends on how I'm feeling, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I uploaded the last video, I just did it like one of those like podcast type of ways, and then that was kind of it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna edit anymore. That's it. I just don't feel well, and I can kind of barely talk right now without really coughing. So I don't know how I'm gonna be doing it. But yeah, let me see this. Sanchez says, you think Kanchi was told Kishibe is alive, and if she wants to be a case where Kishibe is actually dead? Possibly. It's a possibility, or you never know. They could be keeping like Kishibe hostage somewhere, which would be like really messed up, but then it would kind of explain how public safety knows where Naruto is. Like, I hope that's actually explained in part 2, like how they knew who Naruto was and where the control level was. I'm praying for Kobani's to fail all pros. She's probably a manager by now. Hey man, we're all praying for Kobani's success. Now, Nobara is like a different story. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's kind of sad to see like Nobara was like the smart sibling, like that. Like she almost had to become a worker out on these streets for, and a devil hunter, and then he just joins like a evil cult, and he just believes all the BS that they spew out. It's honestly pretty funny. Kishibe is too cool to be held hostage. I mean, he is too cool to be held hostage, but don't say that. Don't say that. That's not a good thing. Because it's like, well, I mean, if he's too cool to be hostage, then, I mean, he's not too cool to die. And there were definitely characters in Chainsaw Man that were too cool to die, but they still ended up dying anyway. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. It would be funny for Kobani to build Nobara. Dude, that would be freaking hilarious. I would imagine like Kobani might actually curse him out. It's like, dude, like I put up with like all this stuff and you get captured and you do this. It's like, dude, that would be absolutely hilarious if that actually happened. That would be so funny. I'm serious. All right, that's playing in the background. Kobani will have a new life uprooted next chapter. I'm so dead. We're all predicting like what's gonna happen to Asa. Is Riza gonna come back? But everybody knows like serially best girl Kobani is the one that everyone wants to come back. I'm dead. All right, chat. This is gonna be the end of the stream. I've been live now for about an hour. I'm going to call it now, and let's see, it's 6:29. I'm probably gonna finish up a script for a Chainsaw Man video I'm making. Damn, what was it about anyway? Oh yeah, why Yoro can't turn Denji into a weapon. That's what I was making a video on. I also like making a video about like Makima versus Gojo. I actually think Gojo would actually be able to win that fight. There were like certain conditions to where I was like, yeah, Gojo would actually be able to win. But yeah, bestest wishes for you. I hope your health improves. Thank you, Ghost Tab. I appreciate that. I hope it does too. Alright guys, thank you guys for coming in to the stream. I'm kind of glad I'm doing this again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.